Murder's
what they
Bazaar.
refer to as the packet. This packet was basically your mission, and it came from the head of the company, and it involved assassination on an individual for various reasons. And Norman said that when he
Good
opened
evening,
the
my
packet,
lovely little Titans.
he was shocked that the
Hope you
target
guys are doing well. Hope your week was good. Mine wasn't too bad. I had the realization yesterday that I don't have work on Monday. It took me so long to connect the dots about Labor Day. It was kind of sad.
Once he opened the packet, there was no turning back. He either had to complete the mission, or more importantly to him, his family would suffer consequences. After he caught a ride back to the garden house with Carol, that he pretty much confirmed in his mind that he was going to shoot her and kill her that evening.
Oh, you're good, Asher.
It was mind-boggling. It was extremely difficult to grasp from start to finish.
I hope you're doing okay, though.
Just shaking your head in disbelief. But we made a
Picture
huge
don't want to
list
color
of
today.
things that we'd have to follow up on to validate her story.
It's Plank. Oh my god, that's adorable.
Norman told us that he saved the seal, but destroyed the contents of the packet. And Norman also said that he was assigned a contact with the company, and his communication with his contact would be primarily through the computer, and that the contact's code name was Josephine.
Okay, I think I found the page I'm going to do tonight. Just something, I'm not going to say easy, because the last time I said something like this was easy, it was not easy. But it's just a bunch of little, it's just a little collection of little guys. Don't know if y'all can hear me. I haven't gotten the notification that it's... Hey, Samuel. Good to see you again. I hope you had a good week.
And Norman eventually put two and two together and realized that his contact, Josephine, was actually Lynn Noyes.
Well, that's awesome, Asher. Thank you. That's awesome, Samuel. Yeah, not too bad. Everybody seems to have a pretty decent week. No complaints that I'm aware of.
Lynn Noyes and Todd Garden knew each other. They were boyfriend and girlfriend at one point. But when Todd left that area, came to California, they continued to stay in contact with each other.
They did have an ongoing affair for a while, at least. Lynn was always this person on the side that Todd would have an affair with whenever he took a trip to Portland. We also went to Lynn's house. I got the impression she was a good mother. She loved her children, but the relationship between her and her husband wasn't working out.
Norman Daniels then told us that there was another intended victim, and that there had actually been an attempt to carry out an assassination on Dean Noyes, who was Lynn Noyes' husband.
I remember looking at the law.
Hey, and Samuel, it's this page here. Just some little accessories that I think are adorable.
Lynn and I were in love, and I have all these years of good memories.
Whoa, people still hang out at the mall? I thought malls died. I thought COVID killed malls.
She was wrapped up in a conspiracy to kill me.
Good to know they're still thriving, though.
As detectives continue to investigate the brutal bizarre world that includes adultery and murders for hire. And they soon uncover an elaborate scheme that was orchestrated all in the name of love.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's one of those moments that is seared into my mind. I open the front door and I see there's a sheriff's deputy, both from Multnomah County and from Shasta County, at the doorway. One of them had a search warrant for the house and wanted to talk to me downstairs while they wanted to talk to my wife, Lynn, upstairs. And they walked
Near my house
through
is
the
so
search
good.
warrant.
Nice. Oh, that's pretty good.
The document that I remember most vividly.
Hi, Gojo.
Because in it, there were details as to the attempted murder of me. We took Lynn to the Gresham Police Department and conducted a fairly lengthy, fairly detailed interview with her.
How long did that take?
6 years.
She seemed like...
Okay, random question. What color are the cats from Sailor Moon? I know one's white. Is one black or purple?
Person that I would have expected to be involved in this kind of a...
Because there's legit a little cat that looks like one of the ones from Sailor Moon, and I just want to remember what color it is. It can go either way. Black and white? Okay. Why do I want to do a black cat? I'm going to do what they do in most shows with black, super black cats, and just do like a very dark purple.
I tried to do it the best I could, but I know I was way out of control. I always wanted Todd and I to end it together, but I didn't want it to end up with people getting hurt, killed, or dying.
White, purple, and black. Okay, Luna is the black one. Artemis was which one? I know there was Artemis, I know there was Luna, and I know there was... God, what was the other one?
She started to give me a breakdown of what her role was and the other perpetrators that were involved.
I'm drawing a blank, people. I'm sorry. Sailor Moon was not one of mine. Anime America would be disappointed in me.
Painted a really bad picture of Dean, and he would say that he was a wife beater, that he was gonna kill Lynn. He would say, "This man is so terrible. We need to kill him and get the money from the crime."
My mom didn't want me to watch Sailor Moon. That's why I didn't. I still haven't. I don't know. I love the idea, but I feel like at this point it would be too late to get into it. So I just kind of enjoy the aesthetic, enjoy that it's one of the very first anime, and call life good.
The plan was we would follow Dean to his work, and we were supposed to shoot him there in his parking garage. We had 2 silenced 22s. One was a rifle for longer range with the scope. But when we staked out the garage, Dean's car was not there. He had taken a different car.
Lynn had told them the wrong vehicle. At least she told me that she had told them a different car so that they wouldn't be able to see me. She was portraying herself to be, if anything, my savior. I have to believe that she intentionally thwarted their efforts to kill me.
Todd used words to kill people. He started talking about the jobs he would do for this company. And he slowly built it up over the years, just little details at a time, to where...
Oh, that's awesome, Asher.
Full-blown operation, it's a covert military thing. But I should have known. I should have looked into it more deeply. But I wasn't a good person back then. I believed his lie.
After we questioned Lynn, we felt we pretty much had most of the story. It was clear to us that Todd Garden had set the stage that led up to Carol's murder. He did not want to be saddled with the responsibility of the parenthood. He wanted a clean break. He wanted Carol to be gone. But this was not going to be just about proving the events that happened that night of Carol's death. We had to prove a lifetime of deceit and lies on the part of Todd Garden.
So what else have you guys been up to this week?
Email records, the computers, of course, were all taken from all parties involved. And we found that there was a life insurance policy on Carol for $125,000 with
Damn,
Todd.
1998, that was a lot of fucking money. Watching another investigation discovery show.
Evidence and statements from all the parties involved. Lynn Noyes, Gordon, Daniels himself, and at no time did Todd Garden ever acknowledge his involvement with this crime. But
I love these little ghosties, and I love the fact I just make them with little outlines.
We sought an arrest warrant and eventually did arrest Todd Garden for the murder of his wife.
And about a month later, after Carol's death, that's when I saw that picture with
Oh, wow.
and Lynn on the front page. I read through the
That's
article.
awesome. Congratulations on the puppies.
I was like, oh no, I'm going to jail.
Puppies are so cute. Probably
And I
as they
want to
grow
say
up.
to Dean Noyes how I am so sorry to Dean.
Kind of like kiddos.
I am so sorry to Carol's family. She was the most wonderful person.
Grow up. It's not fair. Whoa, 10? That's amazing.
On the stand, you almost felt sorry for him more than anger, because you could tell by that testimony that he honestly thought that if he didn't do what he did, that his wife and his kids were going to be gone. So the anger for the loss of my sister falls directly on Todd, and he knew that once that kid was born, it wasn't going to be all about him anymore, and he couldn't be the center of attention.
Todd Garden is convicted of first-degree murder for the deaths of his wife Carol and their unborn child. He's been on death row in San Quentin prison since 2001. I'm an
What a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Shattered Hearts. Thanks for watching.
That's pretty big.
Created another story that was too big and consumed him. Carol took everyone for who they were. It made them appreciate each other. It made us all feel like kids that didn't have a care in the world.
I was always proud of Carol, even when she was married to Todd. I was always proud of her. She always seemed to do the right thing. We'll always miss her. And I hope that I'll see her in heaven one day.
Antoinette McCoy is a devout woman, longing to belong.
The most beautiful part about her was Antoinette always loved God.
Thank you, Jesus! She thinks a mesmerizing, self-proclaimed prophet is her salvation.
You don't want any met. Ooh, I did not know that. That's an interesting fact.
But he is not what he seems.
I don't want anything near them.
That agenda is power, control, lust.
He wanted to have sex on demand. He got it.
Sometimes I wish human women should be that lucky. Nobody around them after birth except like their mother and
Antoinette blindly follows his path. Her
doctors and nurses just to make them feel comfortable.
Just one thing in this world. Am I supposed to
It's
sleep?
easier that way. Been watching too much Call Midwife. It just seems so simple.
I'm Ananda Lewis.
Like, yeah, it's cute when they let the dads be in there, but it's like, what do they do? The dads don't really do anything.
A woman's devotion to her God and her man can be a beautiful thing. But
And no, I'm not dumping or dunking on men. I'm just like, what do men add to the birthing experience? They want to be there, great, but I feel like it truly should be optional.
Until she reunites with a high school crush who promises her paradise on earth. But what she really finds,
It was like, what do they offer?
February 28th, 2011, Durham, North Carolina. Police
I feel like women should be encouraged to not have to necessarily have anybody in the room with them if they don't want to.
16-year-old girl.
Probably would be easier.
That she was part of a cult and that she had escaped.
The distressed young woman describes escaping from a house of horrors.
He makes us have sex with each other.
She said there were multiple women with multiple children living in this house, and told the story about being beaten.
He makes sure we all have babies for him.
And I think the abuse on her increased to the point where she thought her life was in danger.
And she says for some people, it's already too late.
You just have to arrest him, please, or else I'm gonna be next.
It's just something I've thought about. Like I said, I watched Call the Midwife, which is about midwifery starting in the 1950s, and right now they're in like the 60s. They just stopped at 60. I want to say 65, but anyway, President Kennedy's dead in this already, so yeah, about then. Can't remember, but they're there, and I'm like thinking about it. We've come so far, and we've gone so backwards in the last 50, 60, 70 years. And it's really such a shame because we had a good system going with midwifery, with midwives coming into your house, seeing how you lived, seeing you, getting to know you as a person, not, you know.
She was never like that. This is the type of girl who never disrespects anyone who doesn't.
I don't know. It just seemed so different in that regard. And then we're at where we are now, where it's all hospital clinic, has to be done that way. It's like, why does it have to be done that way? Why do we have to be in the hospital? Why are home births like so frowned upon when that used to be the norm and hospitals were only for an emergency?
As a teenager,
I feel like we should kind of go back to that.
where she feels loved and accepted.
She looked to her Bible for everything.
I feel like it was more relaxing for a woman. Like, you know, she could be where she wanted to be. She could be in a familiar place. She could be comfortable. All this stuff, but you know, the more and more I learn about medicine, the more and more I realize that it's less about care and more just about cranking out the numbers. And then women are treated like absolute shit. I'm getting tired of that. I hear so many stories about how women are dismissed in medicine, even by other female providers. It's like, why are we dismissing women?
Didn't have the ability to have children. I think it was very emotional and sad for her.
As always, Netta turns to religion to get her
Be more comfortable.
dark
Exactly. Like,
with prayer.
it would just be nicer. You'd just feel better. There's a lot of benefit to it that I've seen. And it's like, yes, is there the chance that things go wrong? Very, very much so. But there's a chance even in the hospital it could go wrong.
But by 26,
I mean,
Netta is still single, living with her mother, and spending a lot of time.
we still have a mortality rate for pregnant women giving birth. Like, we shouldn't have that in the modern age, but we do. Do you know why? Because we still use barbaric methods for delivering babies. Like, okay, in Call the Midwife, I did not realize that women could give birth in more than one position. The only position I ever knew was the one we normally see, which is where they're on their backs. I learned why we have that position. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. We should reverse that quickly and go back to you letting gravity help. None of this laying on your back bullshit. I didn't want to give birth on my back. They told me I had to because I had an epidural, which was bullshit. I probably could have not, but whatever. But now that I know the reason why women give birth on their backs, I am horrified. It is disgusting. It is horrendous, and we need to stop that practice ASAP. We really, really do. There's no benefit to it. It actually hurts women more than it helps them. So why do we do it? Because it's easier for the doctor. And oh yes, we should care about how easy it is for the doctor. Bullshit. Let's not think about how if you give birth on your back, the cord could prolapse. Let's not think about how if you give birth on your back, you strain yourself. Well, let's not think about that. Let's just think about how convenient and easy it is for the fucking doctor. Then research too. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. The things you learn on the internet, and because you have access to the world.
Made her feel like she was on top of the world.
One day, the two decide to take things to the next level. Peter invites Netta
Just
to meet up
annoying.
for a romantic weekend.
It's so beautiful out there.
The couple talks for hours about scripture.
And then this really gets me. Oh, hi, Wolf.
Finds Peter's common devotion to God intoxicating. As the days go by,
People should
Netta
choose how they get
falls
back. They really should. They really should be able to. And it's BS that we're not giving women the option anymore. It's like we've taken that away for whatever reason.
After dating long
I don't get why are we taking it away?
Peter asks her to move to Durham permanently in August of 2010.
She told me that Pete and her were planning to get married, that they were supposed to be engaged.
Netta's mom worries that everything is happening too fast.
I'll show you the picture in a minute, Wolf. Give me 1 sec while I finish.
But Netta doesn't share her mother's fears and leaves Washington, D.C. behind for the life she's always dreamed of. Excited about a fresh start, Netta arrives at Peter's home in Durham and is immediately impressed by his large house. But he doesn't seem to live there alone.
This is where I'm at.
Peter explains he's simply helping some family members get back on their feet. As Netta unpacks in the master bedroom, she's overjoyed.
Never thought this would be a new beginning.
But one of Peter's aunts, a woman named LaRonda, gives Netta some odd news. Given Peter's devout religious beliefs, she says he and Netta will sleep separately for now.
I don't understand. I'll show you what you say.
Thank you.
Leads Netta down the hall to a
We're
small
discussing how barbaric practices are currently for women in not only medical, but especially in like childbirth. We're having fun discussing that. I think Ash is probably sick of it.
This is the way God would want it. Later that day, Netta joins Peter and his family in their daily routine of group prayer.
We are the chosen.
But as his sermon goes on, Peter reveals a surprising detail about his beliefs.
Now is the time.
Peter Moses claimed to be a prophet with the black Hebrew Israelites.
It's an African-American denomination with 50,000 followers worldwide. But Netta doesn't know anything about the religion.
Black Israelites are a racial identity movement that claims that they are the supreme race, that they are
I'm doing
the
Black
chosen
Flame
people
candle,
of God. It is God's law. It is what the chosen people are here to do.
Netta learns that Peter's interpretation of scripture is much different than hers. It mixes traditional Jewish observance with talk of a black Jesus Christ and a coming apocalypse.
God, we come before you as your chosen people.
This world is coming to an end. We need to join the Israelites. Get with God, get with Jesus Christ. They will be the rulers of the world. It sounds good because
Netta is a bit unsettled by this new gospel.
Antoinette was very grounded in her religion. He used that as kind of his fly trap, if you will, to lure her in.
But she is mesmerized by Peter as he plays on her piety and fear of God.
Exactly, yeah. I've done that research too.
As she settles into her new home.
Nice one.
But she discovered too late that her
No, I've always thought a water birth sounded nice. It sounded very, very realistic.
Of what she was really getting into.
I don't know. It just sounded so much nicer than hospital births. But then people are like, oh, you don't want to have your first one at home. Your insurance won't cover it. Well, it's like, why should I, like, it's just annoying. If I want to give birth at home, I should be able to give birth at home. It shouldn't be up to my insurance what I want to do with my baby in my body. And actually, water births are easier on the baby too because they go from being in one warm liquid to another, and it's not such a shock to them.
Hebrew Israelite doctrine. This world is coming to an end. That we need to get with God, get with Jesus Christ.
Which sounds a lot nicer.
And soon, Netta realizes she's been blindsided.
These are not my aunts.
The people he claimed were his aunts.
If I could go back, I probably would try to do that. I would try to do things a little differently.
And all but one of the cousins are his children.
Netta thought that it sounded so bizarre, out of this world.
Peter explains that in their religion, being a polygamous family is obeying God's commandments.
Some of the black Hebrew Israelite groups subscribe to polygamy.
Polygamy is significant
No.
and imperative.
I do not subscribe to
The more
polygamy.
wives Peter acquires,
We must
It just sounds so terrible for the women involved.
and more children will bring the black Israelites closer to their ultimate goal.
The concept of having more than one wife is to be a nation.
And Peter Moses is trying to build that nation. Vania Sisk is Peter's first wife. LaRonda Smith is wife number 2. Wife number 3 is Lavada Harris. And Zana Thomas makes 4. Now he wants Netta to join his family.
Now you. I would like you to be my fifth wife.
To Netta, it seems like an immoral proposal, but Peter reframes it in the purest way possible.
If you really love God, you keep his commandments. This is your purpose. This is what God created you.
Peter also plays on her insecurities.
You're special.
He promised her heaven and earth. He's not gonna want for nothing.
Peter Moses he's textbook manipulated. Textbook.
Powerless in the face of his persuasion, she accepts Peter's hand in marriage.
Ugh. Sorry, I'm watching a show and they're talking about this polygamous relationship where you just want to scream at the girl, run far, run fast, just get away.
She thinks even if it is unconventional, she's finally found a life here. She has friends, children, and a husband to love.
All she wanted him to do was embrace her and love her.
As Netta settles into a polygamous lifestyle, she begins to enjoy spending time with her sister wives.
If you are lonely, the group offers you solace and a sense of community. If you had low self-esteem, the group builds you up.
She was just happy to have some fun.
We're all sisters. We look out for each other.
But there's a hierarchy of sister wives she must deal with. Netta is the rookie at the bottom of the pecking order. But all the women, no matter their number, are subservient to Peter.
I'm gonna go check on the kids.
While Netta is busy in the kitchen one day, Vania's cell phone vibrates on the counter. And when
Right.
she sees the caller ID, she gets another lesson about how this house runs.
They had Lord with Peter Moses' phone. That's how they referred to this man.
And Antoinette told me. I said, Lord of what? Lord of who? Get out of here. You playing, aren't you? He says, no, the women in it call him Lord.
Still, Peter's love and attention erase any doubts Netta has.
Run. It's not worth it.
He was father, he was husband, he was lover, he was leader.
That shit's nasty.
And soon enough, Netta begins to call him Lord, like the other wives do.
Oh, you have a FNAF theory? What's that?
As the newest wife, Netta's role is homeschooling the children.
Antoinette's biggest dream was to just be a phenomenal mom.
Netta has never revealed her infertility to Peter. She finds the job of teacher especially rewarding and hopes that perhaps Peter won't care if she can't add a child to the group. She develops a special bond with one little boy, Vanya's son, Jaden.
Jaden was a really, really happy baby. He actually had his own personality that was just, you know, warm and everybody loved him.
4-year-old Jaden is the only child in the house not fathered by Peter Moses. Jaden's father left Vanya when he came out as homosexual, and Peter is convinced that the sins of the father have tainted Jaden.
Told you what that boy was like. Didn't I tell you?
Black Israelites has been called homophobic. They are very against the gay community.
Peter constantly singles out Jaden for extra punishment, triggering Netta's protective instincts.
She loved this little boy, and she would go on her way to make sure that he was happy.
In addition to teaching the children, Netta's days are filled with household chores, hours of group prayer, and unquestioning obedience.
I like that.
While her nights are spent as one of Peter's 5 sexual partners.
They had sex with him multiple times a day.
There was a rotation, on certain nights it would be their turn. If you look at the children's dates of birth, they were staggered like 3 or 4 months apart.
Peter expects his wives to get pregnant as often as possible. But Netta knows that's very unlikely. And the more time Netta spends in the house, the more her secret infertility weighs on her. If Peter finds out, there's no telling what he'll do.
Women are made to be
Finished.
controlled by men.
Each day, Peter posts a provocative new sermon on YouTube.
I'm especially proud of this.
According to the doctrine, what we call as UFOs, the spaceships of the angels. And when Jesus Christ comes back, he's going to come back with a bunch of angels.
I have been watching game theory lately. They've had a couple of FNAF theories come out now. I don't know what the hell is up with the FNAF fandom. Some of the stuff is really cool, and then some of it's just like, oh my god, there's just so much. Yes, it is, Wolf. Thank you. It's like you watch it, and they say the crying child's name is Cassidy now. Cassidy wasn't the first victim. It's like, oh my god. Like, and then they can't even agree. They're like, yes, maybe, no, we don't know for sure. And I'm like, guys, this is, I know we have theories for a reason, but can we have theories that are semi-consistent, that we don't just go and retcon? It just seems like once you get something established, it's then flipped on its head, because no, we can't have anything established because somebody has to be the top theorist. Somebody has to come up with the actual theory behind it. And it's like, nobody will ever come up with the correct theory because the guy who makes it trolls the hell out of the community. I mean, trolls the absolute hell out of the community. Anytime they get close to maybe figuring something out, he throws a wrench in it. Just doing some random shit. Just changing one thing in the next book that completely dismantles 3 theories. It's like, nothing will ever be solved because he gets more money with you people engaging in his books, in his movies, in his games, because you're looking for new clues. You're trying to discover the new thing. They're trying to solve it, and you will never solve it.
Beyond Peter's insatiable desire to build his brood, He also commands
They sound Aussie, like the way they're like, yeah, but nah. I like that.
while he watches.
They have an agenda.
Movie pissed me off so bad. I actually enjoyed the movie. It was okay for something as so elaborate as FNAF. It was very succinct. I really liked it. It was. They had to really try to tell a story. They have 2 more movies coming out, so they have plenty of time to fuck it up. But I really enjoyed that this had some beats. It had a story. It had a purpose. It wasn't just, you know, grasping at straws. It was really interesting, and I really hope that that we get to see more of it. I really hope like the next movie is it's the same way, where it's like it's an expansion on the story, because we all know Afton will come back. I hope it's an expansion on the story, but I hope it's still the tight storytelling that this one was. Because again, as big and sprawling as FNAF is, the fact they got it condensed into a story that made sense was awesome. And they did a really good job with it. It was a very well done, contained story. There were a few things lingering, which allow for the next movie, but enough was tied up that you didn't feel like you got ripped off and you're just seeing this movie with 1,000 threads going in a million directions. Yes, but again, we don't know Afton's past, okay? So in this movie, we know about Vanessa, but what if Vanessa changed her name? What if her name's actually Elizabeth? Or what if she's the youngest Afton that was born after her siblings, after things happened to her siblings? Like, we don't know. We don't know what they plan on doing with the rest of the Afton family. We only know Vanessa and William. That's all we know. How did William go from owning the pizzeria chain to hiring the people that work there? We don't know. We'll find out, hopefully. How did who are the animatronic kids? Who's possessing it? We don't know their names. We only know that they're all there. And the fact that the cupcake is freaking possessed was probably my favorite addition, because you don't see the cupcake get possessed much in the games. It was pretty cool that they're like, and we're gonna slip this one in here, and it's a rabbit ass cupcake that is an ankle biter. It was epic. I loved it. I laughed so hard at that stupid cupcake. I don't know why. I don't know what about this little ankle biter cupcake had me rolling, but it did.
And her nightmare finally feels over. She returns home.
Again, I agree, but we don't know movie verse Afton yet. We know very little about him.
It's only days later.
Love the cupcake, right? Cupcake was awesome.
Church, Netta unburdens her heart in front of them.
She got up and they call it testifying.
But yeah, we don't know about this Afton. Like, it was really weird that she knew what he did, but never reported him, even though she could prove any of it. Like, even though it was there, like, she was there and she knew, why didn't she report it? It'd kill me. Right? That cupcake was so good. That was the best addition to it. But like I was saying, we don't know enough about movie Afton to make a definitive anything yet. We have to get more. So I'm looking forward to next Christmas, because that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be watching FNAF 2. I'm really curious to see, are they going to go with, like, because if Vanessa's his child, they could go one of two ways. Well, one of a few ways with it. Let's go with that. One, she's Elizabeth. Two, she's the fourth child born after the events with the older three. Three, he kidnapped her, and that's why she never went to the police. She was supposed to be a victim, but maybe she convinced him to let her live, something like that. maybe she had Stockholm syndrome. That's why she couldn't bring him down, but she could get Mike to do it. 4.
Listen, just come back.
Afton has a second family. Like something happened with the first family, and now he has a second family. We don't know yet. I honestly think it would be an interesting twist if Vanessa was kidnapped. If she...
Whatever he had to do to bring her back,
maybe he did. Maybe she's Charlie. Maybe she's Charlie, and he stole her from Henry and kept her to make sure Henry didn't say anything. Maybe Charlie wasn't a victim in this universe. But we don't know yet. We haven't seen if Puppet Master is a thing. But since we didn't see Puppet Master, let's just play devil's advocate here and say maybe he kidnapped Charlie because Henry did something, and keep Henry in line. He took her and renamed her Vanessa because she was young enough, and she ended up thinking that Afton's her father. That would be a weird twist. Thank you, Wolf. I hope you have a good rest of your shift.
I told her he wasn't no good.
So we have that idea. I think it would be interesting if she had been like a potential victim. If she'd been one of his potential victims. But something in him, maybe it was fresh after Elizabeth. He saw her, and maybe in a way she reminded him of Elizabeth, and so he kept her, but he then used her to like lure the other children in. Yeah, I feel like that would be the more interesting way of going about it. Like, why not have it that way?
When Netta goes looking for answers, she finds that Peter has cultivated a house of pure evil.
I think it would be interesting that if she had been a victim or something, and maybe she was used to lure the children, and that's why.
She's physically attacked by her polygamous husband, Peter.
That would make sense, actually. That would make sense why she knew about Michael's brother, because she's the one who lured him. Because yeah, she handed in the picture with the little airplane, but how did she know? Like, how did she know for sure that that airplane would trigger something in Michael to remember that? Like, how did she know? That would be interesting. She was used to lure the children. That would make sense, because most kids are told don't go off with strange adults. We're always told don't, like the stranger danger, don't go off with strange adults. But nobody ever says don't go off with a kid. Don't go off with this new friend you just made. Life-size circus baby. That'd be cool. But again, we have to see where they're going with it. Maybe they just try to keep it condensed to the FNAF pizzeria and not go to Circus Baby and all that. But we could see. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense that Vanessa, whoever she is, was used to lure the children. Because, again, we're always told don't go off with strange adults. And even though that time period is supposed to be like the 80s, Stranger Danger was still a thing in the 80s. Like, that was when it was really kicking off. Like, Dare and all that. Those programs were kicking off. So, it wouldn't make sense that a little 5-6-year-old would walk off with this grown-ass adult who he doesn't know. Especially if his parents were nearby. But it would make sense if he walked off with a girl around his age or around his brother's age. If she said, hey, I want to show you something really cool. Or, hey, I like your playing. Why don't we play together? Something. I bet you Vanessa's part of it. And that's why she doesn't go to the police. Because she could be, she thinks, for whatever reason, she could be implicated. Even though she's a cop herself, which is funny as hell. She still thinks that she could be implicated and charged with the murder of those children. Because she assisted. Even though she was a child when it happened, she assisted in some fashion. Knowingly assisted him. Whether out of fear of her own life, or whatever. It could be. That could be it. Like, oh God. there's a Criminal Minds episode where it delved into this, where the kid was wanting to help their dad just because he was like, the kid was super obedient and was afraid of his dad, so he did whatever his dad said essentially, and then started to be proactive in the killings himself. He was like 10, so he would he started being proactive and he started helping his dad out more and was pulling targets without his dad's guidance. So it's like, maybe that's what this is with Vanessa, is she just started taking the kid, like her dad started wanting kids to kill and she would just pick one. Whoever walked off with her was whoever was the next victim.
You know, I'm not quite sure.
That could be it. Again, maybe she had to change her name. Maybe her name really is Elizabeth Afton, but she changed her name to Vanessa because she's not even Officer Afton. She's Officer something else. Maybe she changed her name to Vanessa, whatever, to distance herself from Afton, but maybe her name's really Elizabeth. That would be a hell of a twist. Her name's actually Elizabeth Afton, and she changed her name to Vanessa, whatever, to distance herself from her father so she could move on with her life, because at some point she probably rebelled enough to move on, but not enough to break free because whatever, but she knew her dad would still continue. We don't know if he ever continued after he killed Michael's little brother, because we only know the 5 victims in the pizzeria plus the brother. So that's 6 victims?
I saw a room, a big empty hole, and I heard.
So did William continue killing after, or did Vanessa, or did the attention that Michael's brother got from being missing scare him enough that he didn't try anything, and then Vanessa was able to secure herself a job where she could make sure her father didn't do anything by keeping the pizzeria watched and stuff. I know, but again, remember, this is a movie. This is very different. So the movie universe is going to be vastly different from the FNAF universe as far as continuity. I mean, we already have that. Michael was Afton's son, but in this, Michael is the brother of one of Afton's victims. You guys got me thinking. Because again, like, Vanessa and Elizabeth being the same person in the movie universe makes sense. And her being the lure for these children makes even more sense. I know there's the Springtrap Bonnie, the Springtrap suit, and I know Matt Pat's idea, and I'm just going to keep calling it Matt Pat's idea because he started this shit. His idea that the children saw the bunny and walked off with it, great. That works in the game universe where FNAF was a bigger deal. But that doesn't work very well in the movie universe, where it doesn't seem like FNAF the pizzeria, Fred Bear's Pizzeria, was that big of a deal. I mean, oh God, the Michael didn't seem to even know what it was. He was very confused by it. So reasonable to assume that unless you lived in that town, you didn't really know about it. So the kids knowing about Springtrap's suit or whatever, I'm just going to call him Springtrap. I know there's a different name, but we're just going to go Springtrap because that's how I know him. People knowing about the suit and following willingly doesn't make a lot of sense. But if they're following his Vanessa, Elizabeth, whatever you want to call her, if they follow her to her father, maybe what happens is he's in the suit still, and she's like, hey, do you want to see something really cool? Do you want to see this, like, hidden secret animatronic. And they're like, oh yeah, let me see the secret one. And so she walks them in there. She walks them in there. I know there's a picture of him at the beginning, but it doesn't make sense unless those kids really knew. Like, maybe she said, hey, Springtrap or whatever you want to call it, Golden Bonnie, whatever his name is, wants to see, like, thinks wants you to have like a private meet and greet, shit like that, or do you want to have a private meet and greet with this character? And so she would lure them off. But something went wrong with Michael's brother because Spring Bonnie, thank you. But something went wrong with Michael's brother because, think about it, he was at a campsite. He was with his family. It wasn't like hunting at the pizzeria. It was different. He still used Vanessa to bring the child to him. But because of the location, because of everything, it got a lot of attention. And so he probably had to lay low because, yeah, getting a kid or two from the pizzeria maybe didn't bring a lot of attention because they never found anything. But the fact that they got so much attention from the missing boy at the campsite, for whatever reason, that triggered more media attention. Scared Afton into not killing, because eventually you do get caught. Like somebody will slip up somewhere, and if anything, I would say Elizabeth Vanessa would be the weak link, because she knew what she was doing was wrong, and that's, I think, why she became a cop, was to protect people from her father. So,
When Netta returns to Durham a month later and notices Jaden's absence from the home, she is immediately suspicious. And her greatest fear is confirmed when she overhears
but then why would he want to put them in the suit?
About Jaden's murder.
The realization that Peter Moses had murdered a child.
Because he knowingly put them in those suits when he killed them. He made sure. He made sure that they were in the suits. The reason I say that is because of the picture that you see at the end. Well, that is kind of like the catalyst, where it's Golden Bonnie, Spring Bonnie, whatever, holding hands with the kids. So he was aware of his control over them. Maybe
One of the witnesses says Peter was out there, but he was basically directing her being forced back into the house.
Maybe they knew Afton to be the bad guy. Maybe they didn't know Bonnie, they didn't know Golden Bonnie to be the bad guy. They knew Afton to be the bad guy because they saw him when they died. Like, that was the last thing. What if Afton's the last thing they see while they're alive, and the first thing they see when they wake up dead in the suit is Spring Bonnie? And that's why he had a stronger connection with them. That's why he walks around in the suit. Is they know the suit to be the person that they want to.
Peter hands Vanya the same 22
They-
caliber gun he used to kill Jaden. And in the ultimate act of deadly devotion, Vanya pulls the trigger.
Because if you notice, they didn't draw Afton, like, Michael's little sister didn't draw Afton as the bad guy. She drew the bunny as the bad guy. She drew Spring Bonnie as the bad guy. Why do that? If they know who Afton is, for sure.
Their belief was it was strong enough for them to stay with him and to cover it up.
No, what I think happens is Afton is the last person they see when they die. And the first thing they see when they wake up in the animatronics is Spring Bonnie. And Spring Bonnie gives them new purpose. Like, befriends them. Tries to win them over. Convinces them to help. So that's why he walks around in the suit so much. Not as himself, just in case there's still the risk that they turn on him. That's why he walks around in the suit so much. And if you notice, like,
You took something dear, precious from me.
dude, his death scene was so fucking boss, though. I loved that. I was like, this is a realistic way to do it.
How beautiful of a person.
And it was a stupid it was a fucking cupcake all over again. It was awesome. That was so good. They did that so well. And the animatronics are looking for friends too. I'm just thinking about this now. It's like, okay, if they're meant to attack, why don't they, like, they attack intruders to a point. Oh, I'm sure the cupcake's a sweetheart, but, you know, it's murderous right now. But the animatronics befriend children, and they don't hurt Vanessa, so they know Vanessa. They know Vanessa. And they didn't hurt the little girl. They didn't hurt the little girl until Springtrap made them. Told them to. They didn't do it, take it upon themselves. And
when she gets engaged to Aaron Toller in the fall of 2016, she thinks she's finally found the perfect man. Then, just a few months later, Lindsay is discovered dead in her bedroom. Investigators are faced with a big question. Was it suicide?
What about, why would they attack the security guard? What did the security guard do? Probably pissed off Springtrap. I don't think the... Oh, you're good. I'm sorry, Asher. It's just, I'm really seriously thinking about all this. This is really good. I really appreciate you bringing this up. This is how I process a lot of things. Especially speaking out loud about it, it helps me make connections. I think that the animatronics are essentially harmless unless Afton tells them otherwise. They're told intruders are not to be allowed into the pizzeria. That's why they go after the people that were trashing the place. I'm sure they were told intruders or a no-go. And I'm sure people could make the argument, oh well, adults are the... Right? I hope it's just the sweetest. It was the sweetest kid with the bloodthirstiest revenge. That would be epic. That would be just a great way to tie it together. But going back to why did the animatronics attack Mike but not Vanessa? I don't think they attacked at random. They attacked Mike because he was the security guard. And I think what happened was Afton didn't realize at the time why Michael couldn't work nights. He has his little sister to look after. Once he had brought his little sister in, once he realized, I think he told the animatronics to back off a little bit, try to befriend the girl, go to their program. Like, I think they're told if the children show up, they're to, be nice and be friendly and try to befriend them. And the reason Vanessa was able to be around them was they either know her or Afton said don't hurt her. It's not there has to be rules. Because they are controlled by him, there have to be rules. Because the animatronics just seem kind of lost. So he gives them purpose. And their purpose is to either make more by using other children or what have you. This is all way too possible. I hope some of it is canon. You know what? It would be crazy if even one thing I've said tonight actually made its way into the movie. Either upcoming movie. if any of what I said tonight makes it into the movie, like even just one small little modicum, I would absolutely lose my shit. I would blast that online. I'd be like, this is where it happened. I said it first, and I would take this, I would make the spot in this live stream, a short, and be like, this, I did this. It was me first. I would do it. I would absolutely do it. Just for that one little moment.
Jennifer's concern turns to her 8-year-old granddaughter.
But I'm still gonna go with Vanessa lured the children. That makes the most sense to me. Why she feels so guilty. She could have stopped it. Right? But I think that's why she feels so guilty and why she became a cop. She was part of it. She was coerced into helping. I think Vanessa's actually Elizabeth. No offense, but do you think I'd be doing this if I was the writer of FNAF? But anyway, I've gotten ahead of myself. I am running over time. I have to go get I have to go my child from hanging out with her my family because they were nice enough to watch her while I did this. But I have to go get her and take her to bed. Thank you guys so much for joining. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the FNAF theory. Obviously, I went on a tangent for like a good 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure. We could do that again next week. I really liked it. I hope you guys have a great night, a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.